Hi, everyone. Sheri Rosenthal here from Wanderlust Entrepreneur. And I have a very, very special friend to introduce you all to today. It's my friend, Alina Vincent. And very interestingly, Alina and I have known each other since we first both started our businesses, like what, 4 or 5 years ago, Alina?
Yeah, about that.
About that, exactly. And I the reason I have to introduce you to her is that she is going to make a major, major impact in your business, and I'm going to tell you why. So first, let me introduce you to her. I'm just so excited. Okay, so Alina, what she specializes in is actually all kinds of ways to bring traffic to your business and increase your business. But what we're really focusing on today is the fact that she's the creator of the online challenge program. And it's a program that I actually own. And for very good reasons that I'm going to be sharing with you today. And it's made a difference in my business. And this is why I want to share this with you. So I want to start out saying a few things. And Alina, you can share with me if you agree with what I'm saying. But one thing I've noticed, my community is retreat leaders and, people who want to do retreats. And one of the biggest problems they have is filling their retreats because they haven't been focusing all year on building their lists.
Yes.
And that's a problem with our heart-centered entrepreneurs, right? Because
Yeah.
they so want to help people that they don't focus on actually growing and marketing their businesses.
Yeah, I see that all the time too. One of the things that I teach is helping people how to create their online program. So I even have a live event on that topic. And that's one of the first things. It's like, okay, now I'm creating this program. How do I find people to buy it? How do I fill my programs? So I think it's very, very common. We focus on our content, we focus on who we are and not on building your platform. Yeah.
Exactly. And, a lot of our heart-based entrepreneurs aren't really, they don't even see themselves as entrepreneurs. They see
Uh-huh.
themselves as helping people and
Yeah.
solving problems for people, but they don't realize they can't solve problems if they can't get to the people to be able to help them.
hmm
So this is the key. I feel like recently, since I started my business, Facebook ads have tripled. And that is a bummer since in our business, we do a lot of Facebook ads. And
hmm
we're looking more and more, Alina, for ways of growing our list, getting our people more engaged that isn't going to cost us any money. And
Yeah.
that is what I love about what you're teaching and sharing, the whole thing about challenges. And I just want to say now we've done, I think, 4 challenges thanks to you and your
Nice.
guidance. And it has made such a huge difference. We've been doing them before our program launches.
hmm
They get our community so excited and wanting to get involved with our products and programs. And this is what I'm so excited about because I think challenges are something our community could actually do, be excited about, not feel salesy, and
hmm
get some really great information out
Yeah,
to.
they're also very low cost and very low tech, and anybody can do
Yes,
it. Yes,
exactly. So, okay, let's start from the beginning for everyone
sure.
because some people listening, they might even not know what a challenge is. So,
Mhm.
let's start from scratch so our community understands what is a challenge.
Sure. So, in general sense of words, like challenges are not new. Challenge has been probably existed since the beginning of mankind because we all like competition. But in the business world, they kind of, you've probably heard of Ice Bucket Challenge or 21 Days to Flatter Abs challenges. Like in the fitness and wellness world, they've become really popular. Like almost every single gym has run a challenge. So now in an online world, and this is what I teach right now, I teach people how to run 5 day challenges. So, in a sense, it's a mini training where you take people from beginning till the end so they accomplish a new goal, create a new habit, master a new skill. And it all happens with there's a beginning and the end, there's a live interaction, and you teach people quick little bite-sized gems of information. So every day they know just enough to do something, change something, try something new, and feel that transformation by the end of the week. So in 5 days, people get to take action, get to see the results, and they fall in love with you. So it's a free 5 day challenge where you're basically teaching them something new, something that they wanted to accomplish on their own. And then, so I can keep going because this is what I
Yes,
do.
no,
I could talk
go
about it
ahead.
for days.
I'm loving
But
this.
basically, one of the beautiful things about the challenges is what's missing right now in a lot of marketing is there's a lot of information, but there's not enough implementation and not enough action. So the different and the beautiful thing about challenges that's different from like creating a lead magnet or creating a webinar, people are actually taking action and seeing immediate results. And any person who sees results 5 days in a row where because they do something and they go, oh, I can do 5 days without sugar. Oh, I can write a blog. Or wow, I'm getting deeper in touch with my intuition. When you have this ding, 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 ding for 5 days in a row, then they basically fall in love with you. They say, I've accomplished more in the last 5 days than I've done in a year of my business. What else do you have? So
Yeah.
whatever invitation you make to them at the end, they're excited, they're engaged, they already believe that you can provide the results, they know you deliver on your promise, and then it's really easy to fill your retreat, to fill your events, to fill your programs at the end of the challenge. So that's kind of the magic of online challenges.
I love it, Alina. And this is what I've discovered in my community. And let me know if you agree with this, but
Sure.
so much of the time we're sending out information to our list, right? We're sending out newsletters and great content, but it's not playful. It's
Mm-hmm.
not that it's not fun because we write in a fun way to the best
Uh-huh.
of our ability because it's our personality, but it's not playful. And so it's not like we're really engaging the whole community. And
Mm-hmm.
when we did our challenges, it was really fun because everyone was posting in the Facebook group, and then people wanted to know how to sign up for the challenge.
Uh-huh.
And, they got really excited. And also, one of the best things about the challenge is that in each of our challenges, it really illuminated to our community what they needed to do to take things to the next
Yeah.
level. Because one of the wonderful things about a challenge is that you are challenging people.
Mm-hmm.
One of the things you're challenging people to is to see where they are. And so
Mm-hmm.
they can self-evaluate and say, wow, I didn't realize I need more work in this.
Uh-huh.
Now, how can I actually get that information to be able to take my level of understanding to the next level? That I think is a really critical,
Well,
if a challenge
not
is done
only
right.
that, but
Yes.
not sitting alone at home and feeling bad for where you need to go and how little maybe you've accomplished, or like, oh my gosh, I still have so much to do, but doing it in the community. So the beautiful
Yes.
thing, and I only recommend running your challenges live. There's lots of ways to repurpose them after you're done, but the power in them is when you're running it live, is the power of the community. So now you have accountability. So if you got to day 2 of the challenge and you go, oh my gosh, there's so much more, I understand how much I don't know, there's probably 30 or 100 other people going, wow, I'm so glad I'm not alone in this. Let's all do this together. And they start encouraging each other. So you can't sleep through a crack. There's accountability and there's a whole sense of community. It's like, oh, I thought I was the only one who didn't understand it. I'm so glad I'm learning all of this right now. So when you talked about engagement, I consider that there's the engagement for people to say yes to your offer has to happen on 3 levels. So level number 1 is they have to engage with you.
Yeah.
Level number 2 is they have to engage with your content. That's your brilliance. And level number 3, they have to engage with each other so they can support and uplift each other. So, and I don't know any other marketing tool that provides all 3 levels of engagement. Because if you think of like what we normally do, we do freebies, we do checklists, we do webinars. They don't give you those 3 levels. So this is why doing live Facebook challenges, like everything I do is organic Facebook stuff. So doing them in Facebook group, so the sense of community and the two-way communication and this whole uplifting of everybody going like, oh, I'm so glad I'm not alone. Now I feel a lot more encouraged to actually accomplish what we're doing here. Like, I think that's the big power of challenges.
I do. And I also think one of the big power is the shareability. Like, for example, we share like our lead magnets through Facebook ads, but people, I mean, sometimes you get shares, but challenges, if someone starts a challenge, they want their friends in the challenge. And so that's why it's such a great list building thing, because of that level of engagement, people get really excited and they're part of a community. It helps grow your group. So I think having a group in your business, I feel, is really important. Our group is really a big help to our list building. So I feel like that's really important. And it makes an excitement level, like you said, that nothing else that we really do makes that kind of fun thing.
Yeah, so there's like 3 things I want to piggyback on because they're all like super important. So number 1, as far as the fun, because you've mentioned it several times.
Yes.
So I tell people this is not just profitable online challenges. This like fast, easy, fun, and profitable online challenges. Because really the element of fun is there, and there's games, and there's contests, and there's prizes. So there's huge element of gamification when I do challenges in my formula. So that's another reason that makes it fun. That's number 1. Number 2, you said social proof. So there's a lot of built-in viral elements in how you set up the proper challenge. So people are way more likely to invite their friends because it's challenge, and they go like, hey, it's fun and you can win prizes. Why wouldn't you join? But there's also like, you can have people do assignments that take the word about the challenge running outside to their friends, and more people join even when the challenge already started. So we usually have almost like a 20 to 30% increase of people participating in once the challenge already started, because people go, wow, all of this for free. Oh my gosh, this is amazing. Everybody should join it. Or they post something as a part of their challenge. And then another piece that you just said that I think is super important. I actually just recently did a Facebook Live on my page all about the importance of groups. I don't know if you've heard, I don't know if your community has heard, but there's a lot of conversations right now about Facebook is really starting to focus more on privacy and really shifting their platform. So the news feed is going away. Like, nobody knows what shape it's going to take. So their focus is going to be more on groups and Messenger and a few other things. So like, imagine the world where the newsfeed on Facebook didn't exist. It's all about groups. So if you currently don't have your own community group, not for your paid members, but a community group, you're going to really start missing out in about a month when all of those changes will drop. So like, it's a huge thing right now. And challenges is the easiest way to build your group. And one more thing, there's like so many things. When you say telling people, like, people are so tuned out from like the regular lead magnets. It's like, hey, download this ebook. And like, it's going to sit with the 500 other ebooks on my hard drive. When you say join a challenge, people go, oh, I did want to stop eating sugar, or I did want to learn how to plan a retreat, or whatever the topic is, right? And it's much easier to tell people, just join our Facebook group and participate, and join my list, and I'll send you all of the information. So the ask feels like so little compared to what they're getting. It's very different. So when my people, like, I've had hundreds of people in my program, when they try to get 100 leads for a lead magnet, sometimes it takes them 3 years. When they try to get 100 people in their challenge, it takes them a week. So the comparison of value that people get, it's like it's a no-brainer. Sure, here's my email list, I'll join your challenge, versus like, oh, not another ebook. So
Exactly. Now, here's the important thing that I have to say to everyone. So, when I first did my first challenge, I actually didn't realize that Alina had a program on it, and I made some major boo-boos. I mean, it wasn't terrible. Don't get me wrong.
Challenges work even if you mess it up.
Yes, they do. However, there are lots of things that I think are critical in doing a challenge. Like, for example, you said you teach 5-day challenges. There is a reason for that. At first my challenge was longer, and I didn't realize that people peter out. Do you know what I mean? They're just not, after a few days, like after the 5 days in a row, like the amount of participation really goes down.
Yeah.
There are a lot of tricks and important things that you need to know when it comes to running a challenge. So after my first challenge, I ended up buying Alina's program and talking to her, because I'm like, and she pointed out, like, in 2 seconds, like, I don't know.
This is why your conversions weren't as high, and this is why they kept all asking you this question. I remember that conversation.
Exactly, right? Exactly. We were at a meeting together, and you really helped me out with that. So it was really helpful. So yeah, I mean, you can try to figure it out on your own, or what I'm really going to suggest to everybody is Alina's having a challenge right now. It's the Visibility Kickstart Challenge. Now, this is how I feel. I feel like before you actually try to do a challenge, you should participate in one. So
it's kind of like before you run your retreat, you should go on at least one retreat, right?
Please, you wouldn't believe how many people do that. They run a retreat and they've never been on one before. It's one of my little pet peeves. So thank you for saying that. But here's the thing. You should participate in a challenge, because there are very subtle and not so subtle things that you're going to learn. And once you participate in it, that will give you the information you need to make a decision. Do I want to do this in my business? Like, is this a tool that I can use over and over again that I enjoy? I enjoy the challenges. I love things that bring me free leads. Okay, because I spend a lot of money on Facebook ads, and it's getting a little insane. So I'm looking to do more and more what is bringing me in people to my community for free. So like, this to me is like Christmas time and Hanukkah and Kwanzaa all put together in one big bag, as far as I'm concerned. So number one, you should participate in Alina's online challenge, just so that you get the lay of the land and decide, is this something you want to try? So that's number one. And number two, if you take the challenge and you really, you see how it works and you really enjoy it, I'm telling you, you should get the program. Don't do what I did and run the challenge and realize afterwards how many mistakes you made. I mean, and like I said, I'm not talking about terrible mistakes here, but mistakes that cost me money. And when I look at it and I look at the cost of the program versus the amount of money I could have made if I didn't make those mistakes, it would have more than paid for the program, which is, minuscule compared to the mistakes I made. So
yeah, if I can add something, I think one of the biggest mistakes people make with challenges, there's a lot of like the specific strategic ones, but they think challenges are easy because if you observed one or you've seen somebody else and you're like, oh, 5-day challenge, how hard can it be? And to me, like, the analogy is we just got done teaching our teenagers how to drive. And it's all like, well, how hard can it be to drive? I've watched my parents drive all their lives. You just like push this button and you drive, right? And then you get into the car and it's like, and like watching them like, oh, what about this? Do I need to do this? Do I need to turn my blinker here? Oh, wow, I turned and all of a sudden I'm like 3 lanes. Like this whole entire, like, it looks simpler. And once you know what you're doing, you can do it in your sleep. Like, how many of us drive on autopilot? But that moment of where you're doing something for the first time and it looked easy and it's really not it, that's like the weird thing about challenges, because they're super simple once you know what you're doing. And they look super simple, but there are nuances that, like, because you only have 5 days. The beauty of it is, like, you're done in 5 days. You can start getting clients after 5 days. It only takes I mean, I can I can come up with an idea for a challenge and start promoting it the same afternoon and run it the following week. Like, it does not take like 3 months of shooting videos and having all that prep stuff. It doesn't take any of that. But because you only have 5 day window, like you better get it right. So there's something about this. I have a lot of people who sign up for my program after they've done the challenges. So running challenge is super easy.
Yeah.
Running a profitable one, that's where it gets like, oh, I had 100 people in my challenge and nobody bought. I'm like, okay, so here's my list. Let's go and see what you forgot. And they're like, oh, ah. So that's the interesting part.
Exactly. That's
Yeah,
what happened to me, right? When we had that
yeah.
conversation. So, what I think is really important is a lot of people too, they look at a challenge and they really don't understand the strategic aspect of how you're taking people from point A to point B in
Mhm.
those 5 days,
Yeah.
and what is the ultimate message you want to leave people with to make them take the next action. If you don't get that right, you will have a fun community event, but it's not going to make it profitable
Yeah, then you'll
because,
just do the challenge for the challenge's sake.
yeah,
Everybody will love you. They'll get
yeah,
tons of information and they'll say thank you and
yeah.
leave.
Exactly. Exactly. So what I realized is this subtle strategy and even not so subtle strategy that goes behind this. And if I can forewarn everybody about this, you really have to pay attention. And so for me, that has to do with your reverse engineering. Okay. Like
Hmm.
what is the ultimate outcome you want people to take
Yeah.
after the challenge, and you've got to reverse engineer that. And that's where Alina is really sharp and smart about. So yes, obviously the steps that you have to do, and she's got so many great hints and tips about um, tying everything together in a way that makes it effortless. So for Alina, yeah, she can throw up, put together.
No, but I think the most time should be going into figuring out the topic for the challenge.
Yeah, of
And
course.
most people approach me and they go, "Is this a good topic?" And that's the worst question you can ask me.
Yes.
It's not the question, "Is this a good challenge?" Because maybe, but it might not sell. You might not make any money on it. So yeah, it sounds like fun. Sounds like you people would enjoy. The question should be, here's what I'm trying to lead people to. What would be a good challenge to get them desire that outcome? So you always have to
Exactly.
start with the end in mind. And you're absolutely right. And most people, where they shoot themselves in the foot, is the promise of their challenge is too close to the promise of the program they're selling. So, for example, if
Mm,
you're teaching people, I don't know why, but I've been using this example for a while now. It's like how to get clients from LinkedIn, and that's your program, and you want to sell it for $2,000. So maybe that's a retreat or some kind of a workshop, and then you do a challenge on how to get clients from LinkedIn. What's going to happen after 5 days? People go, great, now I know how to do it. I don't need to spend $2,000 to learn more of the same. So it never can feel like more of the same. It has to be sort of the either completely removed part that's not the main purpose and the main promise of your paid offer. And it also can be like a prerequisite. It could be something tangential. It could be something. So, for example, I run about 3 challenges a year, and that's like all of my marketing strategies is based on challenges. When I want to fill an event, when I want to sell a book, when I'm doing a Black Friday sale, when I want to event program anything, any offer, like I'm gonna run a challenge before that. So one of the examples is I have a live event called High Profit Programs where I teach people how to create online programs. So right before that, I run 6-figure idea challenge. So the promise of the challenge is let me help you come up with an idea for an offer you can make for a product. And now come to my event, I'll teach you how to create a program around that idea. So they have
right.
to build. So when people finish your challenge, they have to feel like, I need that. So, like how you know that you got a good one? When halfway through your challenge, people start asking, and do you also teach on whatever your offer is? So that
Yes.
means you got it perfectly. Yeah.
Exactly. This is so excellent, Alina. Thank you so much for doing this
Yeah, you're
because I'm
very
really
welcome.
excited to share this with my community. Um, t- Tell me, is there anything else my people should know before they sign up to join the challenge that's happening right now?
Yeah. Well, so number one, I'm always recommending for people, like, we're all smart people, right? So if you already considering that maybe you want to add challenges to your marketing toolbox, like take that challenge that starts on June 3rd. And even if you're watching this a little bit later, it's totally okay because you'll get all the information, but observe it from two different perspectives. So it's a visibility Kickstarter. So I'm going to teach you how to organically increase your reach on Facebook, how to get more notice, how to stand out. So there's tons and tons of value in the challenge itself because that's the purpose, right? And on the other hand, like have a different hat. So switch it and say, ooh, why is she doing it this way? Why is she posting here? What kind of emails am I getting? What kind of posts am I getting? So like you can get so much value out of just observing what I'm doing. And then if you're in my program, we'll answer all of those questions and you can see how that applies. And then I also want to kind of address, there's probably two big questions that people ask. One is, do you need to have a list and do you need to have a Facebook group before you run a challenge? And it's actually completely the opposite. Running a challenge is one of the fastest ways to build your Facebook group. So I actually like people who don't have a Facebook group yet joining the program, because then we can set it up properly. We can help you. Like one of the bonuses, I'm not even sharing anything yet about the program, but one of the bonuses you would get if you join this program is you'll get my entire $2,000 program on how to create Facebook groups as well. But like when people, especially like if people hire me for a VIP day, they pay me $10,000 to help them run a challenge or to help them build a Facebook group. And the very first question is like, let's run a challenge so you can do both at the same time. Because like you can get hundreds or thousands of people into your group in a matter of 5 days. So
Yes.
you don't need to have a list. You don't need to have a group. Running a challenge will grow your list and will grow your group. So I think that's one of those misconceptions. And the second question people ask me a lot is, how much can I sell at the end of a 5-day challenge? So I have people who sell anywhere from like $97 products or $97 pilot programs or some kind of trainings to $25,000
Oh, yeah.
year-long masterminds. So it really doesn't matter. The whole just because it's free and just because it's only 5 days doesn't matter, because everything becomes supercharged. So everything we talked about up until now, you have the community, you have the engagement, you give people the taste of who you are. It's all free. The know, like, and trust factor goes through the roof.
Oh, yeah.
So whatever offer you want to make at the end, just make it because you can. And speaking of Facebook ads, I thought about it a little bit earlier. You know, Charlotte Jacobs, like that's one of the, I think that might have been like second or first time we've met each other too at one of her retreats. So she does several life events a year.
Yes,
so
she does.
She used to spend $10,000 on Facebook ads to bring to give away scholarship tickets for people to come to her event, and then she makes lots and lots of money on her events. So one summer, they decided not to run a Facebook ad at all, so not to spend a penny on a Facebook ad, and instead do a 5-day challenge. Mm-hmm. They doubled their participation. So they got more results in filling their life event than they did when they spent $10,000 on Facebook ads. So if you don't have a budget of Facebook ads, or you want to do it organically, like there's so many beautiful reasons why challenges work right now.
Yeah, I agree 100%. So I'm going to say this to everyone who's listening. If you need help building your list, there is no reason why you shouldn't be participating in this, because I don't want to hear anything in the group where people are going, I can't film my retreat. I can't film my retreat. Mm-hmm. And I don't want to do ads, or I don't know how to do ads. Fine. Don't do ads. You don't have to do ads. But here is a really great, not only great, but fun and engaging thing that you could do. So
and fast.
Yeah, and fast, and it behooves you. Like I look at different methods, Alina, that people use to grow their lists, like giveaways and summits. Summits are, excuse my language, they're a bitch.
That's a lot of work.
Oh my God.
Somebody asked me, like, would you want to do a summit sometime? I'm like, I looked into that. No, I'd rather do 4 challenges than I do a summit.
Oh my God. I want to slip my wrists. They are so much work, because you've got to try to organize talking to all of those people and trying to get them to send out to their list. It's like, it is a nightmare, and it's expensive, really. You think it's free. It's not free. Like a challenge is as close to free as you're going to get.
Well, and in my program, I say, yeah, if you have budget for Facebook ads, run Facebook ads, and some
Yeah,
people do. But I teach like, here's like 10 different ways you can fill your challenge without using Facebook ads, because that's not where I started. This is not how I filled my first several challenges. I've been doing
right.
challenges for close to 4.5, maybe even 5 years. I have to count one of these days. But like when I first started, I think Facebook ads didn't even exist. Maybe they did, but I didn't know how to use them.
Yes, exactly.
And like everything I did was organic. So that's
Yeah,
what I teach. How do you start with no list, with no
right.
visibility, and you fill your challenge? So yeah.
Exactly. So, if I had to look at some of the different list building ways to say, okay, do I want to do a summit? Hell no. Do I want to do a giveaway? That's a little easier, but there's so
Mhm.
many of them out there. And the thing is to get them to be really geared strategically to something you're selling is
It's
it's
really, really hard.
yeah. Whereas with a challenge, that reverse engineering and alignment is
Mhm.
so spot on. If you do it right, it's like it makes total sense to people after the
Mhm.
challenge is over. What comes next? You know.
Yeah,
So
they
in
start
that,
asking for it.
yeah. So for me, like when I look at those big, the big ways of list building, and then I look at the pros and cons for each one, it's like challenge is sort of comes right up to the top, and you can do it over and over again. And once you like the first time you do it, it might take a little longer to kind of wrap your head around
Hmm.
some of the thinking. But after that, it's like we can put a challenge together so quickly, in a couple of days, it's
Uh-huh.
it's basically done. And I don't know anything else that we could put together that fast, to tell you the truth.
Right. Yeah.
So in that sense,
Yeah.
it's really great. Yeah. So I'm going to put the link above everybody to join Alina's challenge. Again, you're not going to get any better advice than from Alina, and I
Thank
wouldn't
you.
be recommending this if I didn't have her program and if she hadn't helped me in our challenges. So I only like to recommend things that I myself have tried and engaged in. And so again, if you're looking for a great way to grow your list, to fill your retreats, your events, your programs, your products, it doesn't make a difference really. It's just a great way to do so. And Alina, I can't thank you enough for all the help that you gave me in my challenge. And I really look forward for you to be able to help my community.
Thank you. And can I just give one more example?
Oh,
Because I just kind
yes.
of, because you said like, oh, fill this one, fill this. You can do both. So one of my
Yes.
clients, Anna, she's never run a challenge. And so she ran a challenge. She had an existing Facebook group, but they were like totally weird people. So not weird people, but from like her old business that she wasn't even doing anymore. So it was like a cold group and she was switching the direction. So she like renamed her group, ran a challenge, ended up with 200 people participating in her challenge that were a lot more aligned with her new direction. And then at the end, she sold $10,000 worth of her program, which she only sold for like 197. So it was a low cost program, but she like immediately recouped all the money, everything. So, and then out of that group of, I think it was like 50 people who bought her $197 program, to those 50 people who now not only warm audience, but now her buying clients, she
Yes.
invited them to a retreat in Bali. And she filled her retreat at Bali at $5,000. So it's like, it's not like you do a challenge and it ends, because now you have people. So you can make money immediately with a program or some
Yes.
kind of a online training right after the challenge. And then you
Yes.
can invite them to your retreat because now they're
Yes.
even more in love with you and you're buying customers. Yeah.
Exactly. Oh my God, that's such a good point, Alina. Thank you
Yeah.
for taking the time to add that little bit of goodness into our conversation. So
Perfect.
I want to thank everyone very much. If you have any questions, post below, and Alina will answer them, or I'll answer them. And I hope to see you in the challenge. It's going to be a lot of fun, and hopefully we see you afterwards in the program too. So I love you guys.
Thank you,
Thank you very
Sheri.
much. I hope this
Bye.
was really helpful to everyone. Bye.
Bye.